Hey, welcome. Today we are getting into something that is absolutely crucial for anyone who handles food. We're going to walk through the essential rules for safe storage and really show you how to turn your storeroom into a total fortress of food safety. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why the storeroom is basically ground zero for safety. Then, we'll hit 3 major checkpoints: receiving, creating the right environment, and the daily discipline that holds it all together. Each one builds on the last, and it all leads up to the golden rule.
All right, let's start with the big idea here, the first line of defense. You know, we tend to think of the kitchen when we talk about food safety, right? But the real battle, the place where it all begins, it's not there. It starts right in the storeroom.
And this is the one concept we have to get our heads around. The storekeeper's job isn't just about keeping things neat. It's literally the first, most critical link in the entire food safety chain. What you do in that room sets the stage for everything else.
So what happens when it goes wrong? It's a really important question. See, a single mistake in storage, just one leaky package or a bad temperature reading, it doesn't just affect that one box, no way. It can kick off a domino effect, spreading contamination and putting your entire inventory at risk. The stakes are just incredibly high.
Okay, let's dive into the practical stuff with our first checkpoint, safe receiving. I want you to think of yourself as the gatekeeper. This is your first and, honestly, your most important inspection. The second that delivery truck backs up, the responsibility is on you.
And there are 2 things here that are totally non-negotiable. First, you've got to put your eyes on every single item as it comes in. Look for any signs of damage. And second, and this is just as crucial, get that thermometer out and check the temperatures right then and there, immediately.
And here is the magic number you're looking for. For any chilled foods, your thermometer needs to say 4 degrees Celsius or lower. If it's any higher, even by a little bit, that food has already started to enter the temperature danger zone, and that's where bacteria just love to multiply.
Now, let's be super clear on what's an automatic no. Accepting a box that's crushed, a package that's leaking, or anything that just looks off, that's a massive failure in food safety. A broken seal or a soggy box is basically an open invitation for pests and bacteria to come on in.
So what's the takeaway? You have the power and the responsibility to just say no. Be confident about it. If it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Reject anything that seems unsafe. The chefs in the kitchen will absolutely thank you for it later.
All right, let's move on to checkpoint 2. So, you've accepted a delivery of perfectly safe food. Awesome. But now what? Well, creating the right environment is everything. It's this perfect mix of temperature, order, and location. This chart lays it all out perfectly. Your chiller has to stay below 5 degrees. The freezer? We're talking minus 18 or even colder. And that big red bar in the middle? That's the danger zone. That's where bacteria basically have a party. Our entire job is to keep food out of that zone.
Oh man, this is probably one of the most common and most dangerous mistakes you can make. If you put raw meat on a high shelf, any juices can drip down and contaminate everything underneath it, like salads or desserts. That's a textbook case of cross-contamination.
Now, what's really cool about this slide is how a super simple, logical system completely fixes that problem. You always store food in this exact order: ready-to-eat stuff, like sandwiches, on the very top. Cooked foods go in the middle, and all your raw meat, it lives on the bottom shelf, where it can't possibly drip on anything.
Here's another absolute rule, a real non-negotiable one. Nothing, and I mean nothing, ever gets stored directly on the floor, ever. Floors are basically a highway for dirt, pests, and all sorts of nasty stuff. It's such a simple rule, but it has a huge impact.
And here's the number to remember. Every single food item has to be at least 15 centimeters. That's about 6 inches off the ground. That little gap acts like a powerful barrier, keeping contaminants away from your food. Plus, it makes cleaning underneath so much easier.
Okay, this brings us to our third and final checkpoint, daily discipline. Because you can have the best refrigerators and the best shelving in the world, but none of it matters without the consistent, everyday habits that actually guarantee safety. And at the absolute heart of daily discipline is this idea, FIFO. It stands for first in, first out. It's a really simple concept. The first products that came in are the first ones that need to go out. You always use your older stock before cracking open the new stuff. It cuts down on waste and, more importantly, ensures food is used when it's at its absolute best.
But here's the thing. FIFO is totally impossible if you don't know what anything is. An unlabeled container is a complete mystery. You don't know what's in it or when it got there. For FIFO to work, every single container has to have a clear label with the item's name and the date it was stored. Remember this, no label equals no safety.
And yes, we are coming back to this rule because it is that important. The danger of cross-contamination isn't just about dripping from shelves, it's about any contact, anywhere in the storeroom, between raw food and something that's ready to eat. They have to live in separate worlds.
And here's the best way to do that. Create physical barriers. By keeping raw and ready-to-eat foods in their own securely sealed containers, you make cross-contamination almost impossible. It's your ultimate defense.
So let's wrap this up with a quick checklist of daily habits. First, never ever thaw food on the counter. Do it safely in the fridge or under cold running water. Second, be ruthless about checking dates and pull anything that's expired right away. And third, a clean, organized storeroom is a safe storeroom, always.
Okay, we've gone through the checkpoints, the rules, the daily habits. Now let's just tie it all together with the core philosophy, the big why behind all of this, the golden rule.
And here it is. It's that simple. Safe storage equals safe food. A well-managed storeroom isn't just about being tidy. It's an active system for preventing problems before they can even start. You're not just storing inventory, you're guaranteeing safety.
And let's end on this final thought, because it's so important. Knowing all these rules is great, but it's only the first step. True food safety comes from discipline. It's about applying these principles every single day, without fail, even when you're busy. That's what turns knowledge into real, lasting safety.